Forgive me for the lack of tea. I'm recording this super late at night and I've been recording stuff all day long, so it is ungodly hot in this office. But good morning, Mario, and good morning, Switch fans. I've got a Mario themed glass of water and I'm recording this super late so you can see it super early because some crazy developments have been happening overnight and you deserve to know fast. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. I love making this show. I love you guys and I freaking love Nintendo. I'm shocked that we have as much stuff to talk about as we do because this week should be dominated by Zelda. And by all accounts it is, but very interesting things about Hollow Knight Silksong, Metroid Prime 4, and Game Freak themselves, and we'll start there, but definitely hit that like button if you enjoyed the show. Let me know what you think in the comments down below, and get ready for Tears of the Kingdom. Game Freak, they do Pokemon, but they also do other stuff. You might remember them from Tembo the Badass Elephant, you might remember them from Card Jockey, you might remember them from Little Town Hero. They make other games, not associated with the Pokemon Company and not associated with Nintendo. Those all released on other platforms, and they just announced their next new game. And whereas Pocket Card Jockey, Little Town Hero, Tembo, all were kind of very small ventures, right? I would say they were all... Pocket Card Jockey's pretty darn good, but I would say that they're, in general, underwhelming, kind of like proof of concept idea type things. But their new project called Project Bloom is positioned to be totally different. They're saying this is a AAA action adventure game, and it's being published by Private Division, which is a label, I believe, of 2K. I know they did The Outer Worlds, and they've tried to pick up some interesting indie games as well. But they're saying that this is a AAA game. They have one piece of concept art here, and it looks like Dark Souls. I'm just gonna straight up say Project Bloom has nothing to do with Pikmin, but instead looks like a Dark Souls style game. We have what looks to be like a Japanese warrior with a sword in a bog or a puddle, and some very nice trees and some great like little bug green particle effects, and it looks nothing like the game will look because this game is not coming out till 2025 or 2026. So it's just like a hey, get excited. Game Freak is making something AAA and huge, which is really interesting. And you know that by 2025, 2026, the Switch 2 will definitely be out. I think we can all agree on that. And therefore, even if this game does have incredible graphics, even if this game does have a lot of future technology, they won't need Magic Koopa to get it on the Switch because they'll have a better Switch. They'll have a Switch 2, a Switch Pro, whatever it's called. I think this is exciting. I'd love to see what Game Freak can do in this space, what kind of ideas they can bring. I just hope it doesn't turn out to be like company's first attempt at an action adventure game, because in a lot of ways that's what this is. And there's nothing wrong with that. You got to start somewhere, but I feel like Game Freak's other ventures sort of off the Pokemon avenue have not been awesome. So I hope that this is awesome, because now I have to hit you with the not awesome news. I take us to Matthew Griffin. Now, Matthew Griffin is the marketing and publishing guy for Hollow Knight Silksong and Team Cherry Games. We have not heard about Team Cherry Games and Hollow Knight Silksong for eons. It's been ages. This game actually was playable at the same E3 where Nintendo unveiled Tears of the Kingdom. That is fact. I played Hollow Knight Silksong the same day I saw the Breath of the Wild 2 sequel to the Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild trailer. That's how weird this has been. And then last E3, Microsoft put Hollow Knight Silksong as part of its presentation, saying all these titles would be out before next E3. We have heard nothing about Hollow Knight since, and we're getting really close to E3. Surprise! It's been delayed again. Matthew Griffin says, hey gang, just a quick update about Silksong. We had planned to release in the first half of 2023, but development is still continuing. We're excited by how the game is shaping up, and it's gotten quite big, so we want to take the time to make the game as good as we can. Expect more details from us once we get closer to release. Price is Right sound effect. Da-dum-ch sound effect. Honestly, though, I think this is Microsoft's fault. I mean, clearly, development at Team Cherry is a mess, but I think this is Microsoft's fault. I feel like they pushed to get Hollow Knight Silksong in their presentation and then made this claim that all the games would come out because they aggressively needed games to come out. And games didn't come out. Starfield got delayed out of the first half, Forza Motorsport got delayed out of the first half, and now Hollow Knight gets delayed out of the first half, and good golly, Miss Molly, Redfall should have, because that game is really bad. So Microsoft, I feel, is responsible for kind of grouping Hollow Knight in maybe where Silksong didn't feel comfortable. They're talking about, they're excited about how the game is shaping up and it's gotten quite big. And I wonder if at this point, could Silksong be a $60 game? Now, maybe that's crazy, but it's already supposed to be bigger than Hollow Knight. They said how big it's gotten like 2 years ago, and now they're saying it's gotten quite big again. With how long it's taken, could this be a full retail game? And could Team Cherry Games try to do the unthinkable and make their indie game $60? Wouldn't that be something? What if one of Nintendo Switch's fall 2023 unannounced releases is Hollow Knight Silksong on cart, full price? I'm just throwing it out there. They didn't say anything about that. They basically say, we'll know more when we know more. There's no indication when this is coming out. Expect more details once we get close to release. That's all they give us. Not a time frame, not soon, not in the near future, not this year. They literally don't even commit to 2023. I think it could still come out in 2023, but at this point, you should not hold your breath. Very strange development. I do not know what happened to this game. Unless it has gotten so big, I played a playable version in 2019. Okay. Sorry, Hollow Knight fans, but the game's been delayed. It's not releasing anytime soon, and it's supposed to be huge. So, you know, the Miyamoto quote, that's not really his quote, but whatever. A bad game is forever, a rush game is forever bad, a delayed game has a chance to be good. While this one we know is going to be good, and now being delayed, it can be great. And especially in an era where so many games are coming out rushed, forced, and with horrible performance issues, I guess it's fine. Also, once Tears of the Kingdom comes out, you won't need Silksong to play for a long, long while, so it's a-okay, but you might be playing another huge Switch game sooner than you anticipated. And this conversation developed late last night over on the Famaboards forum, and Nate Drake was the source. Now, we know Nate Drake as an insider that has provided a lot of correct information in the past. He's pretty reliable, and he does usually bite his tongue. He's very aware of the headlines that he can make, and so he does only say things when he's quite sure. And I'm going to be very careful to accurately quote him so we don't balloon into our own hyperbolic headline, but let me tell you what he's been saying last night, and it's very interesting because he says that he does know of unannounced stuff slated for this year. He knows of unannounced games slated for this year, so surprise, there are games that are unannounced. And then he was talking about Metroid Prime 4, which is Nintendo's only other on-the-horizon game when they present to investors like they did a couple days ago, and they show off their shareholder meeting and all their stats and their figures. They've got Pikmin 4 and Metroid Prime 4. That's it, because Tears of the Kingdom is now out, well, going to be out very soon. They've got those games. And Nate Drake says, quote, "I'd suspect we see Prime 4 by no later than September of this year." And he also said that he believes it's targeted for this fiscal year. Now, this fiscal year would run March 2023 to March 2024. So that still could be an early 2024 title, but given Dread's popularity, given what Remastered scored, and given how high and mighty Nintendo has held Prime 4 for eons now, I have to imagine this is a holiday-type title. He says he expects to see it by September if it is indeed going to be releasing in this fiscal year, and then he says there is a chance that it could slip to an early 2024 direct. Now, they asked him if this is based on stuff he's heard or speculation, and he said, quote, "The former with minor speculation tossed in," meaning stuff that he has heard with a little bit of speculation tossed in. I think the September thing is his speculation, but the fiscal year is what he has heard. I think he is assuming that, gosh, in order to get this out, they better talk about it no later than September. How else would they release it? And I think if you try to be logical about this, it's not really likely that Nintendo releases Metroid Prime 4 in January or February or March. I know they've put out some interesting titles like Kirby early in the year, and they put out some Mario ports, but their heavy hitters are not happening the first 3 months of the year, except for JRPG titles. But Metroid Prime 4, I don't think is attempting to target that audience. I think Metroid Prime 4, despite it being like maybe not even, a huge seller by Switch standards, will be positioned as a holiday title, as a first-person shooter, as a great game for Switch, and hopefully something that can carry on to the next system and look even better in 4K. September at the latest, and this fiscal year, though, is pretty huge. And by this fiscal year, I'm going to put my own speculation and say that that's this year, because like I said, I don't think Metroid Prime 4 is a Q1 title. I think Metroid Prime 4 is a Q4 title. So an announcement later this year, maybe late this summer, maybe at Gamescom, maybe in their September Direct, right around that time frame, and then boom, it could be the big holiday title. Unless Nintendo has a hidden holiday title like a Mario game and a new console, if your team no new Switch this year, I think Metroid Prime 4 is your game. I think Metroid Prime 4 more and more is shaping up to be the release, and we knew that they wanted Prime Remastered to come out close, but not too close to Prime 4. 9-ish months would be pretty good. They really wet things up with Metroid Prime Remastered, right? They polished everything nicely, they got us all primed and ready, then they opened the oven, and they can cook us for 60 or 70 if they announce it by September. I think that is what will happen, and now that Nate Drake is in on this, it seems like it has much more likelihood than ever before. So a year where we get Tears of the Kingdom and Metroid Prime 4 is kind of gangbusters, and it more than makes up, in my opinion, for Hollow Knight taking a delay to make the game even bigger. I don't really know what that means, because I feel like Hollow Knight 1 was pretty large, so the fact that Silksong has been ballooning for years now, that's why I threw out that $60 option. What if it is a full-price game? Nate knows of unannounced stuff, so there are more games coming this year. Hallelujah, but we knew that, I told you. And Metroid Prime 4 is apparently on the horizon. And even if it doesn't make this holiday season, it should be out pretty darn soon. Perhaps it's positioned as a launch title of the new system. I think that would be a showpiece, even though we've heard a lot about Mario, 3D Mario being a launch title. Both of those, honestly, around the same time frame could do wonders. Because a Tears of the Kingdom, Metroid Prime 4, and new 3D Mario wave, in whatever order they choose, but over a 12-month period or over a 9-month period, hitting those 3 games, that's Nintendo doing the most. That's like Sony putting out Uncharted, Last of Us, and Spider-Man 2 all in a row. That's like Sony putting out God of War, Horizon, and Last of Us all in a row. They kind of did that with the remaster and remake. Nintendo will have similar effect by putting out their hugest guns all in a row and absolutely leveling the playing field with dollars and dollars of, I was going to say discs, but it's cartridges. 1 billion software sold the first time ever for Nintendo. They hit that mark earlier this week, and if they got new Mario and new Metroid in the future, they are going to cruise even higher. So let me know what you think about the Hollow Knight Silksong delay. How depressed are you? I feel like they intentionally waited for this Zelda week to A, get covered up by Zelda, and B, people are like, oh, I got Zelda to play anyways. It's okay. Take your time with Silksong. I'm going to be deep into Hyrule. I ain't got time for your bug world anyways. It's a bug's life out there, I get it, but we're not going to be experiencing this Hornet life for a long time. Metroid Prime 4 soon. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love y'all so much. SwitchForce out.